Hi everyone and welcome back to this week's reading vlog. Today we are going to attempt to tackle my autumn/October TBR. So today's Monday and I actually need to go to the library to renew my library card. Then I thought if I feel comfortable enough we will go peruse around the library, see if there's any physical books that I'd like to pick up, because I've never actually been inside, I've been inside the library to renew the card but it's not anywhere near the books. And so I've never actually looked around my library. It is quite a distance. It's not like somewhere I can go every day, unfortunately. If I feel comfortable enough to ask where even the English books are, we'll go in and have a look around. I'd love to, because I'd love to start picking up more physical library books than just constantly using Libby. Going to attempt to renew that. Browse. We're gonna go book shopping because we're already gonna be in town. So there's one book that I really want, and that is Soul Searching. Even just based off of the cover, I want this book. But I have been dying to read this since it was announced. Yeah, so that's one book that I really want. And then the rest, we're gonna see if anything else tickles my fancy. I think I saw that Alchemized was on sale on paperback. Not sure if that's the German copy or if it's the English copy, and I'm not sure if it's in stores or just online, but we're gonna have to have a look, because if they do have it physically, then I might read it. Originally this video was supposed to be an Alchemized reading vlog, but then I was like, yeah, I don't really know if that's gonna be interesting because I really want to read it physically and I don't want to just read it on my Kindle. So we're going to see if it's worth buying, because I did see it was a little bit expensive. And then I have swim coaching after that, and then we're gonna come back and read and see where the rest of the week takes me. I don't have any plans necessarily for the rest of the week, but we're gonna see how autumny we can make this week. Definitely baking, because the last thing that I baked was tiramisu and that is long gone. So, and I also think I have some pumpkin that I need to use up in something, so definitely gonna be doing some autumn baking. The book that I did in fact already start reading, People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young, last night on my Kindle. A highly anticipated release for me, and I have seen such mixed opinions, and I have tried to not look at too much so that I'm not spoiled, because I really wanted to go into this blind. I have read the author's note at the beginning in chapter 1 and I'm loving it so far. I'm not going to go into it now because I do need to eat food and then head out, but I'm really liking it so far. And this is my first Hannah Bonham Young book, and so we're going to see if I like their writing. I think I do so far, and the characters already in the first chapter have so much personality. Oh, another thing is that I decided last night that enough is enough. I need to get off my phone, and I have in fact set a screen time limit on Instagram and TikTok, because anytime I'm just not doing something, I reach for my phone, and I would rather reach for my Kindle or for my book or for YouTube, if anything, because I'd rather be consuming long form content than short form content. So we're going to see if I can last a week with that. I've tried this before years ago and it just never worked. I would always click skip or whatever the button is. So we're going to attempt to stick to the screen time. I think I have it for half an hour. Ideally I'd want like half an hour on Instagram and half an hour on TikTok, but the way that it's set up is that it's half an hour over both of those, which honestly is quite a short amount of time, and I maybe might increase it to like 45 minutes, I don't know, but we'll see. So that is the goal for this week. Is honestly, I don't care how many books I read, I just don't want to be picking up my phone as much. We will see what happens, but I'm going to go take the dog out quickly and then make some lunch and then head out into town. I'm not really hungry, but I need to eat something because I'm gonna be out all day. But I don't know what to make. I don't feel like making anything, that's the issue. I found some Christmas cake, so I'm gonna have a slice of this and then pack like some crackers or something to eat later, because I'm just not hungry. But this is gonna be yummy. I did not set out to buy all of these books. They just happened to appear in my hand and then I never got rid of them. So anyways, let's start from the beginning. The library. I went to go and renew my card and I was like, where are your English books? Because I've never actually gone in there. And she was like, oh, it's just upstairs. She told me where to go. So I went, and you'll already see in like the clips that I got that it's not the biggest, but they had a decent selection. So I did pick up 2 that I'm really excited about, because I feel like the library is like, you go without like an ideal, I need this book, unless there's a way to check what books they actually have in, which there probably is, but I don't know how to do that. Went in with no expectations of what they would have, and they came out with 2 books that have been on my radar, but I haven't like set out to read. But now that they were at the library, I was like, okay, I want to read those. So the first one is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I wanted to read this book a while ago, like before My Friends came out. I believe that's the name of his newest release, and I do still want to read that book. So I'm going to start with this one and then read My Friends at a later date. I've only heard good things about both those books, so I'm excited to pick up this one. And then we have Wild Dark Shore, which I believe both of these are like mystery, potentially thrillers. Yeah, this one has been on my radar and I saw they had it and I was like, oh, okay, gonna pick this one up. It also looks quite short, like it's not, the chapters are also really short, and you know me, I love a good short chapter. All the books I'm picking up recently are like ridiculously long chapter wise and it's driving me crazy, but excited to pick this one up. And then from the main bookstore in town, I picked up 2 new releases, which we are going to be reading this week, which I'm really happy about. The first one is a book that I have been wanting to read since it's been announced, and the cover is just to die for. And Soul Searching. It got a little bit crumpled in my bag, but that's because I was carrying around 8 books with me all day. But anyways, I wish that this book was physically bigger, because like it looks tiny compared to this one. I mean, to be fair, this is a big hardback, but I just wish this was bigger so then I could see the cover bigger, because I don't know what it is about this cover, I just love this cover. So Soul Searching, which we're going to be picking up this week, and I'm so excited about. And then another new release is none other than me. Now, I do like the purple edition more, I think, but this is what's available to me, so I will be happy with what is available to me. Again, another book we're going to read this week, and look at this. We love. So I picked it out and I was like, oh, do I get it? And then I picked it up and it was floppy and I was like, yeah, because I'm slowly building my Alley Hazel Witch vibe. I think all that I need is, I do own Bride. I fully nearly was losing my mind trying to find Bride in the bookshop. So it's a good thing that I couldn't find it, because I was genuinely like gonna buy 3 books and pick up Bride. So I think I just need Problematic Summer Romance. Oh, and Check and Mate, I believe, her YA romance book. And then I have all the Alley Hazelwood books, excluding the novellas though, because I didn't enjoy them enough to want them physically either. But anyways, now for the last 4 books, which all belong to the same series. You can probably guess by the sheer size of them which books these are. So I found these in TK Maxx for like half the price, like more than half the price of these books, which are also just regular paperbacks. And mind you, these are like triple the size. Really happy with these. I saw them and I was like, I just have to. Like, when am I ever gonna find this book in English in a German TK Maxx for the same price? I had to. I bought, Saving 6, which is book 3, when I was in England at the beginning of the year. And now I have the rest. But I did read Binding and Keeping 13 already, like a year ago now maybe. And I just haven't picked up the rest, not because I didn't like them, obviously not, otherwise I would have bought them, but because it's a lot of brain power, well, not brain power, but just like it's a lot to take in, and they're long, and I just haven't had the time to finish them, and I think I would love to vlog it, and now that I am vlogging, I can finish the rest of the series. Yeah, I'm so excited. So those are the 8 books that I brought home with me, 2 of which were library books, and now that my library card's sorted, I can start using Libby again. So excited. morning, guys, and happy Tuesday. I thought before I start my little morning editing session we could talk about People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I started this yesterday and I got about 20% in, which I'm quite happy with considering I was basically out all afternoon, but I am loving it so far. I've not read a Hannah Bonham Young book yet, and so this is my first one, and I love the writing. It's its own style, it's its own thing, and I think that's really fun to see in a romance book, and I'm liking the characters so far. I've heard, from what I understand of the book, it's going to be a romance between Prudence, who is living at home with her mother and father. Her mother does have early Alzheimer's disease, so Prue wants to be there for her mum. She doesn't want to leave, she wants to be in the house, she wants to help take care of her mum. And her dad's a bit like, look, Prue, you need to get out and live your life, like your mum did not want this for you, and she's hesitant to do that. And then our male main character is Milo. We get told quite early that his childhood was not a good childhood, and him and his siblings did not have the easiest childhood. We met all of his siblings and we kind of learned that he's been like chasing this sort of freedom ever since, and now that his brother has settled in a house, he called like a family emergency of sorts for the siblings to all come. His brother happens to be neighbors with Prue and her family. Something that I wasn't expecting was that Milo's art teacher is actually Prudence's mum, so there's that connection there between the families, which I don't know why I wasn't expecting. I thought that we were just gonna have like something just between Prue and Milo, but this actually makes not sense, but it just gives us a little bit more. Prue and Milo have had their first interaction. Like, the thing is, I know that it's like Prue is very inexperienced and hasn't really dated much, hasn't really done much, whereas Milo is like, he's been around, you know? And I hope it doesn't lean too, like, I don't mind that that's the case. I just hope that it's just not constantly, like, we're not constantly reminded of the fact, because I'm just like, we don't need that. Like, that's just unnecessary. So I hope that it's just like, yes, this is a difference between the two of us, and then that's it. But that does also lead to some really sweet moments sometimes in books. Like in Power Play, it was nearly the same dynamic, and I really like that dynamic. I also think it's just personal preference, so we'll see. Maybe if I really work hard, I can finish this book today and we can start maybe Mate or Soul Searching. I'm thinking Soul Searching just because I've been dying to read that book for so long now, so. Hi. Oh, Alexa, off. My video is now exporting. You can probably hear my laptop going off in the background, but I'm gonna go make some lunch. I honestly don't really know what I want to have, but we'll see what's in the kitchen. And then continue reading People Watching, and then probably continue reading People Watching after I've had my lunch. So let's go see what I can find. I am also still in my PJs and my robe because I don't have to leave the house today. I don't think, at least. So I'm going to be cozy all day. Hi guys, sorry if you can hear the background noise, but I have to have my window open because I'm about to take these off because they are grown out and I just don't like them anymore, and I'm starting to pick at them. So I'm going to spend hopefully no longer than 2 hours to take these off. I have been putting off taking them off for so long because I despise having to take off gel X nails. It just, don't like it. So that's what we're gonna do, and either listen to my audiobook or watch some YouTube. We'll see, but I'm gonna take them off. I don't know if I'm gonna do them today, like do autumn nails maybe tomorrow. We'll see, but I'm gonna put my face mask on. I've got my air circulation in the room going. I'm gonna take these off. Hi guys, I am just working on the thumbnail for my horror book. My horror reading video while my nails dry, so I thought I would quickly show you what I did. Ooh, there's sunlight, you can see them shimmering. So yeah, I couldn't decide which colors I wanted, so I was like, just do both. So this is what we did. I did a base color. The pink base color was Sugar by Essie. The red base color was All Time Red or something by Essence, and then Birthday Girl by Essie for the glitter on top. It looks very unicorny, but I like it. I'm kind of tempted to just do this all over. The shimmery red is Scarlet something. Like, they changed her name, I believe. I'm gonna continue editing the thumbnails so then I can upload that and then read. It is so nice and lovely outside right now. My parents are actually taking my dog for a walk and I can see them from my window, so I'm just like stalking them. It's kind of funny, but it's really pretty outside. Let me show you. Did I just creepily take a bunch of photos of my parents walking the dog and send them in the group chat? Yes, I did. Hi guys, it is now nighttime. My dad made me a wonderful cup of tea and I thought we would just quickly talk about people watching because I am, let me check, 47% through, which I'm honestly flying through this book and I'm loving it so far. I don't remember if I said this already, but I have only seen negative reviews online. I think the only person who spoke positively about this book was Emmy Rossum. And aside from that, everybody else's opinions have been quite negative or like disappointed. And so far, I'm not disappointed. Also because I kind of went in with no expectations aside from me judging the cover, which happens way too often, but hey ho. And yeah, I'm really liking both the characters. I think I can see them working out in the end, which is nice. I mean, you obviously know how it's going to end, but it's the whole getting there that, you know, makes it a good romance book. And so far, nearly 50% in, I'm loving the family dynamics between everybody. I love that it really feels like a family. Like, no one's just this static character who doesn't really add much to the story, but every single person is adding to the story. It is quite hard reading about Julia, I think Prue's mum's called, but Prue's mum who has Alzheimer's disease. It is hard to read about, but it's also important to read about experiences that are not your own. You know, the fact that Milo and Julia do know each other, which I think I did say I was not shocked that it was a plot point, but I just wasn't expecting it to be a plot. I guess that means that I was shocked, but like not dramatically shocked. I don't even know what I'm trying to get to. The little bits of connections that we're having and the sibling dynamics between Milo and his brother and his sister, and then Prue's relationship with both of her parents. It's just, it feels very special. Like, each character has that individual relationship with each other, and I think that's really great. And I also think that, you know, Prue's lack of experience and Milo's abundance of experience, because 200 is wild. I'm not here to shame anybody, but to me that's a little bit wild. Could not be me. I feel like we could have gone with a lower number, but I guess 200 it is. Anyways, again, not here to shame anybody, but as long as it's not repeated too much and we're not like honing in on this fact, I'll be okay with it. But I have heard people say that it's been too much, so I don't really know what to expect. Whether that's because so far 50% in, it has only been spoken about to set up each scenario and not like overly done, you know? So yeah, we are going to get cozy and read, and if anything dramatic happens in the next couple hours, I will let you know. But aside from that, I'll probably see you in the morning. And then hopefully we'll finish either this book tonight, because I'm honestly flying through it, or we'll finish it tomorrow morning, and then we'll pick up Soul Searching. Good morning, everyone. I had the absolute worst sleep of my life last night. Yeah, but I did read. I think I have 20% left of people watching, so we're gonna finish that tonight. Tonight? What? No, right now. I'm gonna go make a coffee and then we're gonna snuggle up back in bed and finish this book. I am loving it so far. I don't know what people are finding disappointing out of this book, because the communication between the characters is great. The conflict that isn't really a conflict, just a reason for them not being together, makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I don't understand why people are disappointed. And again, I still do have 20% left, but I don't think I can get disappointed in 20%. Because honestly, I was in bed last night and I was giggling to myself. Milo, when he goes, "Do you think I want to sleep with your mum?" That was so funny. Like, I literally, I was giggling to myself. But anyways, I really like the characters and the writing. It's so good. Need to read the rest of Hannah Bonham Young's books because I love that character dynamic, and I have only heard good things about Out on a Limb and is it the Next of Kin series? I don't know now, but I've only ever heard good things. So definitely going to be picking up more of their book. But anyways, let's go make a coffee and finish this book so then we can move on to the next one. It was one of the nights where I had to put my pillow on the other side of the bed and sleep on the other side of the bed. I was just, I don't know, I just kept thinking and I just couldn't fall asleep. I actually feel so bad for the dad because I know he's just trying his best. I mean, I feel bad for everybody because it's just not a nice situation to be in. Sorry if you can hear the neighbor's dogs barking. But yeah, Milo and her dad are not arguing. I mean, I guess you could call it arguing, but they're like hashing things out. And I just feel bad for everybody. I think my hormones are all out of whack because why am I actually tearing up to her dad calling Milo my son and saying, "I'm so proud of you." Whew. I finished the book. I finished it and straight away I hopped onto Goodreads and started reading all of the reviews on there because I know that this is a very polarizing book and I had a really great experience with it. And I think that the reason why most people don't like it is because they thought that Milo was quite almost predatory-esque. But when I was reading it, I didn't see it as that. Maybe I didn't read enough into it, but I read it as this man is just a very sexual man. And how did I write it in my notes? I did in fact write it in my notes. And I didn't take it as objectifying her in any way. I just took it as he's a very sexual man and knows what he wants. And he's been with many people and that's something that he's maybe not proud of is the right word, but like he enjoys that. So naturally when he meets someone new, he's probably going to think, "Oh, I find you attractive. Do you find me attractive? Am I getting those signals?" It's also, you know, a form of coping for him, I feel like, is why he has been with over 200 people. You know, there was mutual attraction there. We did find that out. So that's just how I took the book. And I feel like most people who enjoyed the book also probably took the book that way. But I can understand why people took it any other way and maybe didn't like it anymore. But I personally had a really fun time with this book. I was giggling the entire time, but it was also like it explored a lot more than just Prue and Milo. It explored all of the people around them. Yeah, I think for now I'm going to give this book 4.75 stars. It could honestly be a 5-star book, but I think because I'm not outright like, "Oh yeah, this is a 5-star book," I'm just gonna give it 4.75. But I really enjoyed this book and I flew through it. It's not the longest romance book, but it's not a short romance book either. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed this. So I'm going to have some lunch and then we'll start soul searching afterwards. Hi guys, look who has a tripod now. Isn't that crazy? I can't wait to start filming more stuff now because the possibilities are endless now. Anyways, I'm going to tidy my room because if you can see behind me, every surface just needs a little bit of tidying up. And it is a Wednesday, so it's kind of like a midweek reset day. So then I'm gonna hop in the shower, do a blowout. I call it a blowout because really I'm just using it to straighten my hair. And whatever happens after that, happens after that. Oh, and then after that, we're going to bake a crumble. I don't remember what fruit it was that we have. Sounds like quiche, but it's not quiche because that's a dish. But we have a fruit and my mom would love me to make a crumble. So we're gonna bake the crumble and we have a tripod now so we can film so many more clips. That's sort of the plan for today. And then after that, we'll just read all evening. And yeah, let's get tidying. It is quite a bit later, but I'm now ready for bed. I have my book and the chosen bookmark. I must say, this is like my go-to bookmark for everything. And my, I was gonna say journaling. Well, I guess I do use these for journaling, but my annotating pouch. I didn't realize it was already 10 p.m. Book number 2 for the vlog is in fact Soul Searching by Alice Sage. My phone is also gonna die, so probably not gonna have any b-roll of me filming. B-roll of me filming, correct. B-roll of me reading. Also, my brain doesn't seem to be functioning at this minute, so let's just get reading. And I will probably talk to you in the morning with some reading updates. Good morning, guys. I may have to put some subtitles, so I'm not sure how you're going to be able to hear me on the other side of the rain, but the show must go on. I still need to film, and I think it's going to be raining like all day. So, anyways, Soul Searching. I got a good old I think 24 pages in last night. Yeah, chapter 4. I really love the writing. I mean, I've read the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I love Lyle Sage's writing. I love the settings that she creates and, you know, the character dynamics. And I think this is going to be very, very different to the Rebel Blue Ranch. Really looking forward to getting into this. We've gotten a little bit of the whole paranormal aspect, like that's come in quite quickly, like I said, chapter 4, and I'm really intrigued by it, and I think it's definitely helping the whole Sweetwater Peak setting of the book. And yeah, I can't really say much about the characters because I don't really know them all too well yet. I believe Collins, FMC, is a twin, and she basically likes a lot of distance between her and her family. I'm thinking we're going to get a bit of an understanding as to why, because at the moment it's just like distance makes the heart grow fonder, so to speak, is kind of her motto at the moment. So we don't really know if it's like something happened in the family or if she's just a person who likes to be on her own. But anyways, she ends up going back to Sweetwater Peak because she's struggling a little bit. She doesn't have much money left, she isn't really getting any jobs, and so she's kind of disguising this family trip back home as a, oh yeah, I totally want to come back home and see everybody, when really it's, I need help. Her twin sister has come and found her a place to stay while she's home and a job, because Collins does not want to stay in her family house or with her sister because I guess her family just drive her crazy, but again we don't really know why yet. And the person that she is staying with and has a job for is Brady, MMC, who so far just seems like a very nice guy. Not really anything to him. He moved to Sweetwater Peak I think a year ago now and has an upholstering business, I believe, which is like furniture, like making furniture, which is interesting. Don't think I've ever read about someone who makes furniture. Will be interesting. Don't really know too much about him. Literally just about to get to his first proper chapter. Oh, and regarding the whole paranormal thing, so far it's just that Collins and her twin sister Clark can see ghosts and they can feel them as well, and there's different forms of ghosts. Like ghosts can come as like holograms almost, or they can just be like foggy features, or maybe a little bit more human looking, or sometimes they're even just like invisible and you can just like feel ghosts around you. Yeah, apparently you can speak to them as well, which I think is really interesting. We'll have to keep going. Again, I don't really know all too well how much that whole talking to ghosts thing is going to come into play. Like, is Brady going to find out and go, you're insane? But I love it. Quick little update for you. I've moved upstairs now. I got 100 pages-ish into soul searching and I'm loving it so far. I'll go more into detail later, but I love the setting and I really wasn't expecting, like, okay, I knew we were dealing with ghosts. I knew that was like the paranormal aspect of the book, but I really wasn't expecting the ghosts to be able to like move stuff and interact with the real world. They can't really interact with humans. Like, I believe they can move objects, and because they're like disturbing her, so they're like moving all of her stuff around and they like play tricks on people and things. But I wasn't expecting that. they can still walk through humans. I'm not sure if they can necessarily like touch humans. Like I feel like if they touch a human, their hand just kind of goes through, but they can touch objects. But yeah, the setting is just, it's also so perfect for this vibe. I love it. The writing is very much Lila Sage, but it's very much new, which I like. And it fits perfectly. And I really like the two characters. I think Collins is a new fun FMC, and I think that Brady, the MMC, is just a nice, sweet guy. Him and Collins are just out on a little ghost hunt of sorts. They're just like exploring places, which I think is super fun and makes the setting quite cool. There's also like a little mystery aspect of Collins. I might have to take this out if it's spoiling, but if it's on the back of the book, which I'll check is okay. But I believe like Collins basically loses her ability to communicate with the ghosts. She can still see them, but for some reason whenever she talks to them they just aren't talking back, and so it's really quiet for her. And so we've also got that aspect of it, which is really cool. It's such an interesting plot. Like yeah, it's something new and fun, and I'm loving it so far. But anyways, I am going to edit a little bit more. I'm really enjoying editing this video. Like I feel like I'm having a lot of fun with adding little bits here and there and making it fun for you to watch, I guess. So gonna continue doing that. And I made a tea. I think it's the Reset tea from Twinings, which if you like fruity, it's quite peachy. It's really yummy. Good morning, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use any of this clip because it is so loud from the wind and it's rainy and windy, but I read a decent chunk. I'm on chapter 13, which is page 130 of Soul Searching, and I will chat about it once it's not so loud in this house, because I swear you can hear every single noise in this house and it sounds like you're in the middle of a storm. I'm going to go make a coffee, and I have swim coaching later, and then I have plans in the evening, so I kind of need to read this morning and get that done, so then we can spend the weekend reading Mate, which I'm really excited about. I was excited about all these books, which is a lovely feeling to have. Hi guys, I'm about to leave to town to go to coaching, not to buy books this time. I have reached my monthly limit of book buying, and then we're going to come back, maybe do some more reading, and then potentially go to the movies. Yeah, I'm gonna bring my Kindle to read an arc that I have, which is taking me forever to get through, so I'm not gonna bring my physical book, also because it's raining and I don't want it to get damaged in any way. Hi guys, I am going to try to get through this clip without being interrupted by the wind, and I might have to do some tweaking to the audio, so I apologize if anything sounds weird, but it has been windy for like the past 4 days and I can't do anything about that at the moment. But anyways, I did in fact finally finish Soul Searching. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't record anything yesterday, so I don't remember where we left off, but I sat down this morning and I read this much, which I was actually quite happy with. Like, sometimes I forget that I'm actually a decently fast reader, it just takes concentration. Anyway, oh no, what's happening to my bookmark? Soul Searching. So, I guess we can talk about it quick. I really enjoyed this book. I think the atmosphere was great. I think that the whole talking to ghosts thing was really cool and it was executed well. The setting was really fun as well. I liked the sneak peeks that we got into everyone over at, what's it called? Meadowlark. And mainly towards the end, and I liked the little Cam and Amos cameo, but I've read a few of the reviews and people were saying that it felt quite flat, like the characters were just quite flat and boring. And the thing is, there aren't any stakes in this book, which I think is maybe why people found it boring, because yeah, we can talk to ghosts and there's paranormal things happening. Aside from the whole Collins can't communicate with them anymore, which isn't a very high stakes thing. Like, it's important to her, but the way that it was executed wasn't very high stakes. It wasn't the most, I can't think of another word except for high stakes, but it was a great atmosphere read, and I think props to Lila for stepping into this new genre, because I think it really works for her. She can set it up really well, and her idea, all of the ideas worked really well. There was no third act conflict, which I enjoyed. Each character had a little bit of something. I wish we got a little bit more of the ghosts, but I think that's going to play a bigger role in Clark's book, because I think the next book is going to be Clark's book, who is her twin sister. So, actually I know, because there's literally a first glimpse of chapter 1 in this. But anyways, 4 stars. It was cozy, it was cute, the ghosts, like the setting and like the cute little like adventures that they did to like different parts of Sweetwater was so cute, and just helped make the town feel bigger and like an actual town that you could go visit. Why does this look like a palm tree now? Now that we finished this one, that means we can start this one. I'm so excited. And look at how floppy this is. Like, yes please. I don't know how long this is going to take me to read. This would cost $20 and $30 Canadian. I feel like I haven't sat in front of the camera in a while to speak about the book that I'm reading, so I feel like we should do that, because I don't think I've uttered a single word reading this book, and I am like 75% through, maybe like 80% through. I think that goes to show how much I've just been, like, literally I sit down, I flip this book open. I don't know if you can see down here, but like it sits open like this. I don't even have to touch it, and it's just been the most comfortable reading experience in a very long time. Like, just as comfortable as reading on my Kindle. The font in this book is so nice, and just the formatting of everything about this book is really, really pleasant, so I've been loving it. Physical attributes aside, the main thing which happened, I feel like it was like the first chapter, if not the first 2 chapters, was the strangest insults from Cohen. Basically, this book follows a character from book 1 in Bride. If you haven't read Bride yet, I'm not going to spoil it. Cohen, who you meet in Bride, who is a werewolf. There's a lot of world politics, because in this world there's humans, vampires, and werewolves, and historically there's always been issues within the 3 species and making sure that people stop killing each other, and there's always like hatred between species, but it's getting better, but it's also not very good. But then also in this book we follow, because Cohen is the leader for the Northwestern Pack, we follow and we get to know a lot more of the history of his specific pack, whereas in Bride that was, what was his name? Lowe, and he's the Southwestern Pack, I believe, the Southern Pack. Anyways, so this time we're actually getting a lot more into Cohen's pack, and considering that he's the alpha, you know, a lot happens to our main girl, and we've kind of hit that mark of like 70 to 80% in Allie Hazelwood book, where things really start to hit the fan, like dramatics wise. It makes sense in a book like this, but in some of her romance books it would get to like 85% and suddenly people are shooting at each other and you're like, how did we get here? It makes sense for this book, and I've been loving it. Oh, I've completely just gone on a complete tangent from my initial point, but in the first 2 chapters specifically there were at least 3 different insults that I had never heard of in my life, and I'm just like, all by Cohen, the main MMC. They are the weirdest insults, just no normal person would use in their actual vocabulary, whereas for him, like, it is his actual vocabulary. You would just probably think about it and say it for funsies, you know? But no, they're just in Cohen's vocabulary. And I don't know if it's cute or if it's just a bit odd, but we still like Cohen. There was this one particular scene that now comes up more, but it was the first time when I wrote it down in my notes, of FMC and Cohen. The reason why I'm not saying her name is because it kind of spoils a very big part of Bride, and I don't understand, like, I feel bad for anyone who picks this up first, reads the name and goes, oh, okay, and then picks up Bride and they're like, wait, what? Because I feel like that was a really big part in Bride. But anyways, between our FMC and our MMC, there was this cute little scene where she has like 2 options for them to do, or like 2 things that she wants to do, and she basically picks a hand, I think, on which option it is, and then she got him to choose, and then it was just such a cute interaction because it was also silly and a bit flirty and a bit, their banter is just great. But it's like, obviously there's the moments where they're like not insulting each other, but they're very much being kind of mean to each other, but then there's moments where they're actually being kind of sweet, and I love the balance of that. Yeah, we also at the beginning of every chapter get snippets from his point of view, and most of the things that I've underlined in this book so far have been those opening chapter scenes from his point of view, because he's just like, he's obsessed but he can't be obsessed. And you find out why about like halfway through, maybe? No, just before halfway through you kind of find out why Cohen is like, I can't be with you. And it's a bit like, okay, I'm not gonna force you to be with me, but like, oh my gosh, I just said her name. It's a really, I'm enjoying this more than I remember enjoying Bride. So I'm really, really happy about that. But yeah, like I said, things are hitting the fan, and we have, I want to say like 100 pages left, trying not to spoil. Yeah, just over 100 pages left. I'm gonna try to finish this today, and then we'll wrap up this video. So, let's get reading. Hi guys, I realised that I never give a final review of Mate, so we're going to do that really quick. I loved this book. I loved Cohen's POVs in the beginning of the chapters, and then I also loved the fact that the epilogue was from his point of view. It was A, so fun to be back in the world. B, I'm glad to see that like how Serena's story went on, and the fact that we also got snippets of what happened with Misery, and I love their friendship. I think it's very much like millennial humor and things that happen, but it's still entertaining. And I love the atmosphere, and the plot itself was good. I'm usually not like that big of a politics person, but it wasn't too politics heavy. It's just how the world works, and obviously it's with vampires and werewolves, so more interesting than our world. And yeah, I think I gave this book 4 stars, I think, because it was just entertaining and great. I mean, it's an L. Hazelwood book. No book is under 3 stars, but I think that's a lie. I don't really have much to say other than it's an entertaining book, and honestly, I think better than Bride. I loved all 3 of the books that we read this week, which hasn't happened in a while. But anyways, thank you for watching this video if you made it this far, and I will see you in the next video, which I hope for my own sake isn't a weeks-long reading vlog, because I keep giving myself too many books to read in a week, and then I get really drained, and then I feel like you can see that in the quality of the video. So hopefully we'll do something a little bit more relaxed for the next video. So see you then.